Well, if you guys don't mind, while we're staying on this technology kick, Jill, I just updated the link. Let's look into Pearl. I think, again, we can look at it from all sides. Pearl just announced June 22nd, they got a patent for their AI solution uh, that helps them. I mean, it's basically systems and methods for automated medical image analysis. And that's their second opinion trademark named software that they're building, and they go into the detail to talk about what it does and how it works. But I'm curious, Brian, if you looked into it, since you, Jill, I let me see. I think I updated the link, so if you can pull up a different one, just go back to spreadsheet and click on the one that's been updated. Yep, this
Yeah,
one. So
the
just
patent
zoom in a bit.
covers it just covers the machine learning aspect of it, which is interesting. I don't know enough about that. What I do think was cool about Pearl was that you know machine learning is oftentimes input by doctors. So you have doctors looking at X-rays. They start putting all of that stuff into the computer. The computer starts to learn what it's looking at. And I do know that Pearl had. I don't work for Pearl. I don't speak for Pearl. Uh, but I know that you can go in and adjust what the AI has found, and then things that you see that the AI did not find. And by doing that, the machine is learning. You're adding to the learning, and so I wonder if that's it. It doesn't go into details about what it is, but it says that the patent covers the machine learning models, which is kind of cool and genius on their part.
I have a friend actually that he has a lot of associates, and they're starting with their software as kind of like a backup for their associates because these guys are really fresh out of school and not much experience. And he sees it as a real good way to sort of help them learn, and to give like second opinion almost to the patient, with a young doc.
I'll be the first one to say, I'm not the first one, but I'll say it. You get to the end of your day, and if you've had a long day, I'm like, dude, you're staring at X-rays, and you're like, yeah, it could be a cavity, right? Um, Having a backup like AI to be like, check these 5 areas out, it is a tremendous help to the dentist, but certainly to the patient too. Like it's going to greatly reduce the risk of missing something.
Yep.
Yeah, I think in one of the episodes, I think the first one, we covered the AI a little bit, and I think there were a lot of good points that I think Aaron, you brought it up, or Brian, that some of the patients would trust more AI diagnosis than a doctor. Like if you have a patient in the chair, you need to show the treatment plan, and you say that this is the AI that did the diagnostics, and that we know exactly what needs to be done, and we can take a look, and this is what the machine learning AI identified. They will be more lean to accept the treatment plan.
Yeah. I've also heard that just from um, speaking with a lot of older dentists, is that they're like, dude, I'm struggling with this new generation, and kind of like connecting with them. And they're always like, oh, they're all tech this and tech that. And I'm like, well, you got tech to back you up. I mean, it'll speak in ways that you can't sometimes.
Yeah, interesting. Well, any other thoughts on in general? Like, I mean, I think the two emerging winners at the moment is the Pearl and Overjet AI. They both have very different approaches. From what I found doing the research, I feel like Pearl was more in the offices and private offices and working with offices, meaning like being able to do the X-ray, understand the X-rays, and the Overjet AI was more with insurance companies, so working with them and then crossing the bridge on the other side. And so I think they have both different approaches, and we yet to see how the adoption is going to go. I don't know the price point. Have you ever looked into it, Brian, Aaron? Like how much would it cost to have one of these things?
I don't know.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to speak for them because I don't know. It's probably, again, 500 to 1,000. That would be my guess to have something like this. But it's an interesting technology. I guess from a fear standpoint, not to dwell on this too much. Again, going back to the insurance companies, like any of these companies, my biggest fear would be if they start working more alongside the insurance companies versus the doctors, and if it becomes the tool for that side of things versus helping you to diagnose better. So that would be my fear.
So Tiger, quick search says $300 a month, flat rate.
Nice. It's doable.
Easily worth it, I would think.
Yeah. I'm kind of chuckling about this other article. Utah has some of the highest fertility rates in the nation. Sorry.
I don't think that was on our list of topics to cover, was it, Brian?
It's
Well,
not on the list.
It
Let's
is.
move on.
The U.S. population is older than it has ever been. That was one of ours.
All right, let's move on. All right, you want to talk about that one? Let's move on.
Let's talk about Utah's fertility rates.
Well,